Uh,
We had a game Saturday.
we did.
Yeah, that's why Dan's not here. The outcome was
We won a
for the record. Dan could not keep his straight face for the bit, so he had to walk off frame for us to make that happen. So,
Look at it.
oh my God,
Look at
so
it. It's so beautiful.
With that craziness out of the way, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Hey Carter Crew podcast. I am your host, JJ Lang. With me, as always, my two fantastic co-hosts. First, you know me, love him, Nate the Little Goonfoss.
We run this conference, baby. This is the start of a dynasty.
I do not disagree with you there, my friend. And also with us,
Dynasty.
everyone's favorite, Dan the Statman Scully.
I don't know that I've ever been more nervous at a hockey game than I was on
Well, I
Saturday.
almost puked during the third period. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We'll talk about the nerves. We'll talk about the nerves when we get there.
As Nate, well, sorry, unless you've been living under a friggin' rock for the last week, the RIT Tigers are your 2023-2024 Atlantic Hockey Champions.
Say it again, JJ.
The RIT
Say it again.
Tigers are Atlantic Hockey Champions for the fourth time. 4. I got my hand in the right spot. 4. Yes.
This has been pretty much
man.
my face for like the last 4 days. Just
Smiling faces.
constant smiling. That's gonna change probably tomorrow.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, quick side tangent. I walked into work on Sunday morning. Everyone's like, "How was the game Saturday?" And I just showed them this. That was my response to that. And they're like, "Oh, that went pretty well then." I'm like, "I would say so. I would
pretty
say so."
well. Yeah, it was all right.
All right.
You know,
all right.
it was okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go through the events of the day, including the morning and all of the fun stuff that we were able to do then. So I'm gonna pass over to Nate, and we're gonna get started. We're gonna talk about the tailgate first because that was awesome.
What a day.
It was so good.
Oh man. So with TorahCon also being on campus this weekend, that was fun.
Mhm.
U lot was pretty full all day. I wish it was all hockey parking, but unfortunately it wasn't because that would have been sick.
It should have been.
We had some people in the parking lot leaving their cars there overnight and very early in the morning so we could have our spot in the corner of the parking lot nonetheless, because why would we go anywhere else?
Mhm.
And
Oh, I get it. It's because we're the corner crew.
Yeah.
There you go, Dan.
Right around 11:30, people started to roll up to set up and get everything set up. Campus safety drove by us like 3 times, didn't say a word. We knew we were good. They probably questioned, what are these idiots doing out here at 11:30 in 30-degree weather? It was cold.
Yeah.
But I think the excitement kind of took over for the cold because I wasn't that cold. If you were cold, that was your fault. Anyway,
Bundle up.
shout out to Zoe grilling, buying a literally box of Zweigels. Like, we carried them all in a box. I still have 2 packages left in my
go
fridge.
through all those hot dogs?
No, I have 2 packages left in my fridge. If anybody wants hot dogs, let me know.
You know I do.
You want a
Not,
pack?
not Zweigels.
I'll take a pack.
You want a pack?
I'll take a Zweigels pack. Hell
All
yeah,
right.
dude.
All right, texting Zoe. JJ's taking a pack. Happy birthday. We'll bring it to you on Friday.
Thank you for that.
You suck.
If I'm not
man.
still dead from Thursday.
Let's hope that's
we'll
the
get
case.
there in a minute. Right around 1:30, 2 o'clock, a lot of people started showing up. Witter was there playing music the whole time. It was funny. We Are the Champions came on, and everybody just started screaming, "No!" And I've never seen somebody move so fast to run the laptop to hit skip. Like, we are not jinxing anything.
That was so good.
Shout out to Jay's dad for sending him an AIC shirt. I think we were stepping on it,
Oh, that was
scraping our feet on
so
it all
great.
day long.
Okay, the picture
And
of
then
George stomping on it with his helmet on
yes,
was
oh,
incredible.
it was just a preview. And then the AIC bus rolled up and we cut it in half,
Oh my
pointing
god.
it at the bus, and
You
we
know
were
what
waving
though?
around the raid cans and the no diving sign. It was
I don't
amazing.
even want to know what those guys were thinking when they pulled up and there's just a mob of RIT people greeting their bus as it arrived. Like, oh
Yeah,
my god.
it was hostile. It was hostile from the minute
Yes.
they got on campus. Um,
They showed up fairly late too.
I wish they were there 4:30. That's about right.
I figured they would have been there earlier than that, like maybe
Eh,
4. Because our guys would have been there. They were showing up, walking in for about an hour before that.
there's an awesome story that we won't tell on the podcast. We don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Yes.
You probably know it, and if you don't, it's in Discord. You'll find it somewhere. Simon
Yes.
Isabel's dad attended.
Oh, the
He's
absolute
the
gem that
best.
he is.
That picture of him after the game was incredible.
The Wilkie stopped by for a few minutes to say hello too. That was awesome seeing them.
Yes, they were awesome. Apparently Carter talks about us a lot, which I love. He can stay.
Please stay.
Then about 4, we started to pack up. You know, started make our 4:15, started to pack up, started making it. There was probably about JJ, what do you think? Like 60, 70 people over in the corner at that point
I would
of the parking lot
yeah,
when
I
we
would say
started to
so.
pack up. The news showed up. They interviewed JJ's ugly face. I don't know why. He's like,
Shout out to John Hanna for getting mad because I got interviewed by News 10. He works for Channel 13.
yeah, but my sister works for Channel 10, so like, what the heck?
That's true.
Um,
And I
anyway,
also made the news, so that was pretty phenomenal. I love being on TV.
Remember when we got interviewed walking out of Kennedy after a
That was the most
CHA tournament
chaotic
game?
thing that we've ever done ever. Just Nate cutting the guy
I was
off and
pumped up.
screaming at
I
him.
was pumped. I was fired up. And then, you know, everybody kind of makes their way towards GPC. I'm one of the last people at the parking lot because I had stuff to put in my car. And oh my God,
There was a mob of people on both
there
doors.
were lines at both doors, at least 200 people long.
Mm-hmm.
I had never seen anything like it before for an RIT game ever. Americ's playoff games, that's what it looks like especially the afternoon ones. But oh my God, we knew this was the hottest ticket in town. Oh, we didn't even mention that tickets sold out in 90 minutes for this game. The less than 200 that were released on Friday were gone in 2 minutes.
And
Which
also
was bonkers.
Quick shout out to Andrew Keller, Corey Craig, and all the guys that work over in the ticket office because they did a fantastic job managing that absolute disaster that happened the rest of the week of people making up stories about Corner Crew bought 85 tickets, which we will say right now nobody did. Sorry,
What do you
Cheryl.
mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? They're still in my trunk.
Those guys handled that whole thing like absolute pros, and there's a reason you guys are the best of the business. So thank you for all of that. We're glad you guys liked the cards we got you.
It was. I hadn't seen anything like this scene inside GPC when I finally got in. We were at Ritter.
But it reminded me of Ritter because people were just the doors opened and everybody was just running for the corner.
It was a mob. It was absolutely incredible. I walked in and I went, oh my God. General admission was full at 6 o'clock.
And warm-ups didn't even happen yet.
They hadn't even started the 60-minute clock yet.
The team is back. They're trying to play sewer, and they're like,
they literally said, where are we going to warm up?
There's so many people.
And I think they were all going, oh my. The look on Aiden Hansen Bucata's face.
Oh, set it off.
Was what?
And when they did their lap to run, and they started running, everybody saw it was just a cheer. And I'm sitting there going, this is going to be absolutely insane all night long.
I was saying Saturday, and I said it all week. I was like, I've been dreaming of that day since they announced on-site championship game on-campus championship games,
Oh yeah.
and we absolutely got robbed of that last year. And I will say this Saturday was everything I wanted it to be and more. And that's even without the game. Without the game, it was everything I wanted it to be and more. It was so much fun. It was a long day.
Fun day, but long.
The afternoon dragged a lot. And I know, Scully, you had what, lacrosse
Yeah,
in
Steve
the
and I
afternoon?
froze our butts off working women's lacrosse.
Oh, yeah, it was cold.
You know what though? I think the hockey gods knew there was a game in Rochester because they said, "Guess what? Snowstorm. Dig your way
Love
out."
it.
And I'm like, "Good, perfect hockey tailgate weather."
Um, the
What?
give me a tea before warm-ups.
So loud.
My jaw was on the floor. I
So
was like,
loud.
what? AIC had to hear that and go, oh no.
A few dudes from their side came out and sat on the bench before warm-ups and were kind of out there kind of taping their sticks up, and they were looking over at us, and
They
I
just kept
swear to
looking
God,
over.
they had to have been crapping themselves. Like I would have, if I were them, I'd have been like, "Oh my God, what are we in store for right now? What is
And
about to happen to us?"
Air Force and like they'd never seen anything like it this year. I mean, Air Force gets good crowds, but really it's just us and Air Force.
Yeah,
You know, you get your occasional, Niagara gets a decent crowd.
yeah. When we show up,
Yeah, Sacred Heart gets a decent crowd every once in a while. Bentley had some good crowds late in the
they
year.
did. Bentley did.
But nothing is like GPC when it's sold out. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. And then the game started out awful. We did
Yeah.
not play well in the
I think
first
that
10
was a
minutes.
blessing. I think that was a blessing in disguise, though.
I think so too. I think we all knew going into that game, like, look, let's get through the first 10 minutes and then we'll settle in and play our game. Because let's be honest, the minute we scored, AIC was in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess we'll start here. Jordan Byro picked off a awful pass in the RIT offensive zone, or somebody picked it off, or Austin Long picked it off and sent it
Yeah,
up to Jordan Byro,
yeah.
just
Byro took it and
streaking,
scored.
and yeah, buried it. And everybody in the building, I think, just said, "Oh boy, here we go, track meet." that
I
was my
thought
thing
that
at
was.
that point. I was like, "Track meet, here we go."
Yeah, I'm like, this is going to be a 6 or 7 goal game.
And then Dimitri,
Can I
hot as
say
a
it?
pistol.
Can I say it?
All he scores is big goals in the playoffs. Micro Giannakis off of an AIC defender's stick into the back of the
No,
net, and
it was not. If
yeah, it
you
was.
watch, if you go back and watch the highlight for that, it doesn't go off anything.
You
It
can't see it because
definitely
it went.
went
It
off
definitely
of
did, JJ.
because I was calling tip the whole
So-
way.
I watched it the entire way. It
Yeah.
went off the guy's stick and through Wahlberg's 5-hole.
Yeah, when I watched the highlight for
Wallstrom?
it, it didn't look like it. It looked like it was just it went over his shoulder.
No, it went 5-hole.
Maybe I'm.
It went 5-hole.
If you scored, didn't matter.
Yeah, right. And then this is where I thought the roof came off the place. It was Carter Wilkie took a shot, went off the goaltender's shoulder, right to the guy who has elevated his game all season long. And he's playing his best hockey of his Tiger career because he's finally healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Gonzalez. And let me tell you this, I was saying hit it. One time it right when you get to it. And I'm glad he didn't, because he held on to it just enough and lasered it top corner, and the roof came off the place.
When he touched that puck, I literally said night. And as everybody was turning to look at me and say, "What?" He scored. And I'm like, he touched the thing, and I'm like, that's going in. That's a freaking goal.
Yeah.
100%. There is no shot that doesn't go in. That is Gonzo's bread and butter right there. That was a gimme.
His wrist shot is lethal.
It's disgusting. Dan, what was
Um,
the booth like when that happened?
It's pretty much business as usual up there, but
Try to keep it in.
I mean, you've got you had Todd Bell up there, you had AIC's SID, you had the stat crew, you had Tim, obviously, and you had 3 or 4 writers. Kevin O was there, Chris Lurch was there. I think Russell Jaslow was there. I mean,
yeah, it,
Michelle and Gino and somebody else on the league staff, they were using the second radio booth because we didn't have any more room on press row.
Oh, wow.
and I just want to say this Michelle had to have been loving this
I love her.
because
She's awesome.
can I just say that suit she was wearing was badass, by the way.
Oh yeah,
That was
100%.
sweet. This is what they wanted when they said we want to go on campus. And I'm gonna even go back to last year. Harbor Center was packed. And it was loud. Oh yeah. It was standing room only at Harbor Center last year. I don't necessarily regret going to that game anymore. I did all year, but now I don't. But this was just another animal. This was and I'll get to it in a moment, but I've never heard the GBC louder.
Oh
than
no.
Saturday night when I finally got back here, my ears were ringing. That's how loud it was.
Ask anybody that was Scully, you were still there. I literally, once everybody kind of cleared out of the lobby, I fell to the floor. I was so exhausted.
It was, oh my God.
I was just trying to soak it in at that moment. It's just like, Jordan Byro would score on a fluky one.
Really,
I mean, that's how
really Kramer scored off of Byro's
and
skate.
Yeah, that's really what it was. And that would be
So-
the last goal AIC had for the rest of their season.
And I mean, so we're going into the intermission 2-2. And I think I said to Scully, I was like, you know what? I'll take it.
You said the
Because
same
I
thing to me
think,
too.
yeah, I was like, you know what? After the first 10 minutes, Tommy kept us in it for the first 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
He was lights out per usual. But he was phenomenal the rest of the way because this could have been a track meet, and Tommy kept it that way. Matty Wild, the snub of all snubs I've ever seen. This was a middle finger to the entire conference.
Yeah,
This power play goal.
I don't know how he didn't get that.
Aiden with a great shot. Matty Wild taking care of the garbage in front of the net.
I honest to God thought
Buried it.
Score. I'm like, oh, here he comes. Aiden, all he does is score big effing goals. Hands him, you cat. Here he comes again. And it was Matty Wild.
Matty Wild with his 18th of the season, matching the guy who won Rookie of the Year, by the way, who was eliminated 2 rounds before. Thank you very much. This kid is unreal. This line is unreal. And I know this wasn't a rookie line goal, but that line is unbelievable.
And I'm also going to say this. I'm talking
freshman.
Yeah, that's the scary part for everybody else. I was talking to some people.
Scary part for BU, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I was talking to some
little preview of my spicy takes coming later.
I was talking to some people in the lobby before they let us in, and I'm asking everybody, what's your score prediction? What's your score prediction? Which I called the score, by the way. I'm just going to say that right now. That was actually incredible.
If AIC didn't give up, I would have had it right, but they just gave up for the last minute.
Hey, you know what? Doesn't matter. I still got it right. But no, so I asked people, I'm asking people, what do you think the score prediction is? And everybody was saying 3-2, 4-3, 4-2, whatever. But the one thing everybody agreed on, it's going to be either Matthew Wild, Christian Catalano, or Tyler Pukusa, who were going to have the game-winning goal. And sure enough, who had the game-winning goal? Matthew Wild.
He's got a couple this year, doesn't he? He's got a couple game winners.
I want to say he does. I know Aiden's got a couple.
And then it was a pretty tight game in the third period.
The third was kind of
Three of
close.
them.
3 game winners. Nice. It was a low shot game too. I mean,
Yeah.
Because what? AIC outshot us 26-25, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
They outshot us.
Yeah, 26-25. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, it was tight the entire way, and I think that's the kind of game we all expected. I don't think really anybody thought that this game would be a blowout by any means.
So there was one moment in the third period where I went, this is going to either this could decide the direction this game is going to go. And it was,
I was just about to get to this. I think if we're going the right way.
Yep. It was the Tyler Fukakusa penalty where Nate and I looked at each other, we're like, that's a 5. That's a 5. There was like what?
Watching it back, I agree that it wasn't a 5. But
Correct,
initially,
yes.
just the way they've been calling it all season
and
long.
From the angle we had on it,
Yeah.
from down there, that's a 5.
I thought he
we
crushed him.
Knew it. I thought he killed.
I
the
thought
guy.
he absolutely crushed him.
I'm like, that dude is
But
out.
it looked like the AIC guy was already going. And Scully, you had probably the best angle on it too.
Yes.
To be honest with you, I was wondering if it was going to be 5 too, but I immediately said it's all about whether the contact was truly from behind or whether it was shoulder to shoulder. So if it's from the side that's boarding, you can leave it as 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't even call boarding. What that was?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they called boarding.
Oh, they did call boarding. Okay.
And I absolutely agreed with it. I was like, yeah, no, I was like, at minimum, it's a 2-minute boarding, and that's what they called on the ice.
And I looked at Nate.
I don't blame Eric Lang for changing it, challenging it. You needed a goal. You were down. You were down a goal. You needed one.
And quite honestly, there was what 9 minutes left.
9 minutes.
5 minutes. A 5 minute. That's half of the remaining time you have an advantage for. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So
especially for a power play that's struggling.
Yeah, and on
if
AIC,
you give them 5 minutes, they can figure it out.
And specifically looking at AIC at that point, it was you either win the challenge, it's a 5, and you got a 5-minute major, and with plenty of, it's going to give you a bunch of time to try to capitalize. Or on the flip side, which ended up happening, nothing, lost their challenge and lost their timeout.
They used it as their timeout. That's exactly what it was.
Their official timeout was gone. So when that went as a 2, I went, this game might be over.
Yeah, I thought once we killed that penalty, I started to get that feeling. But AIC, to their credit,
they did not go down easy.
Foot on the gas.
They did not go down easy
for about 18 minutes of the third period.
And also on looking at the 2 power plays that we did have, and also just kind of our offensive possession. And this is something that Ed Trevsker pointed out was they cheated up on JoJo a ton.
Yeah.
And I noticed that during the game. I'm like, they are just swarming him. They're leaving everybody else.
They didn't want to let him. Swarming. I get what you did there.
But I was just like, bad. To me, it looked like, okay, they looked at what RMU did. The forecheck, just the all-out forecheck didn't work. They went right through it. Niagara was just, we're going to do our thing and bait you into penalties. That's not AIC's game. To me, it felt like it was, we're not going to try and take away a line. We're going to try to take away certain people. And all they did was just leave other dudes wide open. Like, I don't think anybody expects Aiden to take shots, but here he is taking them, and that led to scoring opportunities.
17 block shots for RAT in this game.
That was incredible to see.
I don't think it's a season high for a game, but it's up there.
It's got to be up there.
It's got to be.
I don't think it's a season high either.
No.
No, season high was in the semis actually.
Really?
How many? 21 blocks against Niagara.
Yeah, so it's up there.
It's up there.
That was the Friday game, because that's what it seemed like, because everybody was just dying.
What was the 15th? Was that Friday?
That was the Friday game. Yeah.
And then the next 2 highest, both 20 block shots in the games against New Hampshire.
So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And then RAT called their timeout. And that might have been the loudest Hey song I've ever heard.
It was nuts. And that was a very smart timeout because they were starting to pepper
Yes,
us with
our
shots.
guys
It
were
was
gassed, and we needed it.
take the timeout, give them a second to regroup, and that was all I need. All they
And if I
needed.
remember right, it was a high stick, so they couldn't change.
Yeah, it was high
Mhm.
stick.
Or so, it was something where we couldn't change, and
Yep,
Wayne
it
was
was a
like,
high
"Yeah,
stick.
we're not messing around right now." And then face off goes. AIC controls it for a little bit. Elijah Gonzalez makes an unbelievable play to pick off a pass along the boards, cuts into the open ice, gains the red line so he doesn't ice the puck, which is the highest hockey IQ play I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
In that situation, it's yes, you're gonna try to go for the empty net, just don't ice the puck. And he buries it.
In that moment,
And the roof was gone.
I watched Nate fall to the ground with his hands in his face. And then I turned over to Aaron and fell into her and just started to cry because I knew right then and there, this is done. That was the
Ball
nail
game.
biter. Game over. Done.
I
ya.
didn't feel that way.
I
was
did.
not celebrating
That was
before we had
that-
two empty netters.
I watched
They-
two guys in AIC's bench drop their heads. Done. That was the end. Right there.
That's when I knew. I was like,
They had mentally given up.
they're done.
They knew it was over.
And I think I remember it. It's the one thing I remember from the last 5 minutes of this game. I jumped up, just came back down, and just the stress
Just
of the
relief.
entire week just came flowing out.
Dude, there was a point in the third period where I dropped. I was holding something and dropped it. And I bent over to go pick it up and physically almost threw up because of how stressed I
Yeah.
was, because of how close
Dude,
that third period was.
I'm on the stair and my side is just cramping. It hurts so bad. But
Well, I also
it
was like, this bill. I thought this because the corner wasn't getting quiet. It was just kind of like
it was nervous.
it was loud. It was nervous, and
There's
then
nervous energy. You
out
can
of
feel it.
nowhere, like the Lorax returning from the sky, here comes Colby Matthews in fucking Calvin boots. Excuse my French, I don't care. They just descend from the sky, and it was like, oh, this is gonna be good. They led two champs, and they got that. They single-handedly got that corner pumping again. So shout out to them for that. I know
Yes.
Dan's texting us the timestamp, like that's even gonna matter at this point.
Yeah, we ain't editing that out. This one's okay. God, we're already 31 minutes in and we're not even done. Oh
Nope.
geez, this is gonna be a long one, guys. Sorry.
You know what? Rightfully so.
Sorry, Zoe.
We got a long day
sorry,
on
Zoe.
Thursday. So
And then we hit the post on the empty net.
Twice.
And then we hit the post on the
for a
empty net.
hat trick. He had a hat trick and he hit the post.
The best was it was then rebounded by Matty Wild
and Matty Wild out of freaking nowhere.
I was like, where did he come from? Where did he come from?
The celebration at that point. I think I started crying again.
I did too.
I was sobbing again at this point. I just
TJ ripped his shirt off. We all saw that.
Yeah, because he does it every time we hit 5. I hugged Colby. Colby just started shaking my shoulders and
God.
And then I'm like, wait, you guys get in front. No, like move me out of the way.
Like, what are you doing there? You guys, oh God. I don't think the team knew they were there either.
No, so Zoe has an awesome video of it. She pretty much took a video of the whole end of the game and whatever. And JoJo's skating over with his shirt, and then his face lit up and he's pointing. And I'm like, wait, is JoJo smiling?
A Terminator bastard.
Oh my God.
He has a heart after all.
Unbelievable. And then the buzzer went. And
the countdown first.
Yes.
You can hear the countdown on the TV broadcast.
The greatest scene in all of hockey is sticks and gloves flying in the air,
Flying.
baby. Oh,
I think Tommy's gloves were off for the time he even hit 0.
Tommy bat flipped. He chucked his stick,
He really did.
threw the gloves, and then he so gently sets his mask on top of the net and then gets mobbed. They're like, that's the
Oh
most
my
goalie
God.
thing I've ever heard. Screw the stick, screw the gloves. The mask needs to be okay.
I also love how they're going
Ugh.
through the line doing the handshake. Wilkie's the first one through, and he just beelines for the corner instantly. And I'm like, here he comes.
In my head, I'm like, please don't get hurt. Oh,
Ugh,
it's been a long 8 years, guys.
it's been so long.
Let me tell you, it was a long 8 years.
And then they were handed the broken trophy. Who
All
cares? Who
all
cares?
tournament team. I don't even remember.
Well, Byro, I'm pretty
Scully's
sure
got
was
it.
on it.
Byro got one.
'Cause it was Gonzalez, Tommy, Scarfoni. Who else was on it? Oh my God. JoJo was on there. I know that.
Nico Somerville was the other
Yep.
AIC guy.
Nico Somerville. And then, oh
It's
God, was
because
it
I clicked the- God
was it
damn
Matt Wild? Or was it Fukakusa?
I don't know.
Don't matter. Who cares? Gonzo was awarded the mop. That's you know what? No, most valuable player. What is this most outstanding player crap? Most
That's the way
player.
the NCAA does it.
Yeah.
So stupid.
It's always been
eh,
that way.
It is what it is.
All tournament team: Gonzo, Fukakusa, Byro, Casero, Somerville, and Scarfoni.
And then Elijah Gonzalez, absolutely
Oh, he deserves
MVP.
that. Oh yeah, no doubt in my mind.
He, especially in the last half of the season, has flipped a switch.
Well,
And he
wasn't
he
even
was on a
starting
mission.
line. He wasn't even starting line for the first game of the year. He was in the second line. And then they
Yeah.
moved him up to the first line, and that was just a godsend. Like the offense started to just.
It was right around the new year they put him on that top line with Laskowski and Wilkie. And
did that?
I know
work
we've
out
been
well.
missing Lasco for the last 4 games, but Grady Hobbs has been an unbelievable addition to that line.
Hobbs has been an animal in there.
I'm not saying that you should, if Lasky is ready to play on Thursday, you should definitely keep him out of the lineup because you should put your leading scorer in the lineup. But
I mean, the fact that he was suited up on Saturday is a good thing.
Shoulder looked fine when he was holding that thing over his head. That's for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, he didn't seem to be that hurt.
What a night. And after the celebration on the ice, everybody got a chance, including Oscar
And Josh.
And my favorite part was them giving the trophy to Josh.
Yeah.
That Josh is a guy who puts in a lot of time, and people say, "Oh, he's just taking pictures." No, he's not.
No, he's not. He's
not.
He's a lot more than that.
Him getting the trophy, and it was just the look on Nicholson's face when he brought it over to him. He's like, "No, you deserve this."
And also, I love the fact that the debate all week was, did Wilkie actually take pictures of Josh with Josh's camera?
Not.
And the answer was no.
No. He did not.
I don't know how he managed to
I
pull
wanted
that
to
off,
see those
but no.
so bad. I wanted to see how bad they were. But
thankfully, one of the other photographers did get some really nice pictures of Josh.
Zoe got a great video of it too. It was right in front of us. What a night. I think it was a game where I think everything just clicked. And this was a Tiger team that was not going to be denied. And I don't know why we were nervous.
Yeah, man, you know what? You never know what can happen. That's why.
It was.
I will say this. I listened to the the post-game presser afterwards. Wilkie fully admitted, he's like, I turned that puck over and they capitalized. And he just I went right back to the bench and said, that was on me. I'm going to earn one back. And sure enough, he did, getting that assist to Gonzo. And honest to God, I think that Spyro goal in the first was a godsend for this team. I
Wake
think
up call.
we had let's go over this. We had throttled the absolute hell out of Robert Morris 2 weeks prior. We then beat the crap out of Niagara. Like that was just we did.
And
Like
in those games, yes, they were close on the scoreboard, but really, were they ever that close?
No, we dominated Niagara. And it was this AIC team is not as weak as those two other teams. This team was much, much better. And I think that first goal of, okay, this is not RMU or Niagara. This is an opponent that can beat us. We need to lock in a little bit. And right after that goal happened, it was just I would say the first period was a little sloppy. First period was a little sloppy. The minute they hit the second, done. That game was over. The minute that Matty Wild goal went in, it was see ya. We had total control. Nothing was going to end that for us.
Mm-hmm.
I will also, and that game could have been over by the time the second was done because there was 2 breakaways in the second that were missed.
Oh, if Tanner Andrews scored on that 2-0.
I honestly, God, Jeffrey should have just took it.
Jeffrey should have shot it.
Because, oh my God,
Whatever.
Wallstrom was already cutting back over and anticipating the pass. Jeff should have just shot it.
Wallstrom led that like a book.
Yeah, he did. He knew.
I read that like a book. I'm like, oh, he's totally going back. What a night. And I do want to say, I want to give a shout out to Caleb Moritz because at the end of the night, everybody kind of went to the lobby and, parents and the players got all their pictures that they wanted. And it was great. It was an awesome time. Everybody was just so happy and excited. And then Caleb was the last player out there. And he waited until every single one of us got a picture with the trophy.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to.
No.
He could have taken it and said, I got to go, guys. No, he stayed there the entire time, waited until everybody was done. And that is why he's the captain of this team.
I told Nicholson when I saw him. First of all, thank you, Ryan, for signing my hat. And also ensuring that I need to buy a new one because I don't want to have to risk whipping this one out there next year for a hat trick. So
why I don't wear this one to games.
Yeah. So I told Ryan, I said, out of everybody on this roster right now, it was him, Caleb Moretz, Elijah Gonzalez, all the 5th-year guys that came back that had been, not counting JoJo because he had won titles elsewhere, but the 3 guys that had been in RIT 4 or 5 years.
He won a national championship.
So the fact that those 3 dudes stuck with the program for 5 years, they could have left after last year. They could have said, we're done.
They could have left.
And they came back.
Caleb almost did.
Caleb almost did. From what we know, Caleb was going to go to medical school. And he came back to be able to co-op at U of R, or not U of R, at a hospital nearby doing rotation and stuff, and then go to medical school afterwards, which honestly, good on him. He's going to
My guy was playing hockey and doing overnights at a hospital.
Yeah. Like, that's something else. I don't know how he pulled that off. So
I always wondered why Caleb looks so tired. Did you look at him after the game? He looked exhausted.
Fried. Those 3 players deserved that championship more than anybody else in this roster. And that's not dismissing anybody else because everybody deserves it. You know what I mean?
Well, and they got robbed of it their first year.
Exactly. Those guys got robbed. Those guys got robbed multiple times of a title. The only thing that
I'd say they got robbed of 2.
Yeah, 2. The only thing I think when I'm sitting there and when they were doing the pregame, we're all sitting there and somebody said Kobe Walker's in the building. And I went, and he wasn't. And it was basically, I think it was Gene messed it up and said,
no, Sports Zone messed it up. Somebody on Sports Zone. It wasn't Gene. It was during the pregame.
Yeah. Somebody basically told him that Kobe Matthews was Kobe Walker, which is
whatever.
The names are similar. But I'm sitting there and I'm just like, man, I wanted Kobe to be there so bad. Because if there was another guy that deserved an Atlantic title, it's Kobe Walker. And he was watching the whole time. We knew it from talking to him. He was watching. But it was like
Um,
those three grad students, as Caleb, Ryan, and Elijah, deserve that title more than anybody else in that building.
and you could see it on Carter Wilkie's face that
Oh
he was
yeah,
relieved because he put a lot of that game 3 against Holy Cross last year on him.
he did.
I know we didn't, but he did. And I think that's why he was so excited. Like, yes, this is what it was supposed to be. And now we got it. And unbelievable. What a freaking night. And it's something that I know we're all gonna remember for a long time. And but hey, we're not done.
Dan, did you get a ring?
Oh, that's my lacrosse national championship ring.
Oh, I'm like, did
Oh,
they...
I have a lacrosse national championship ring. Oh,
Wait, does that mean you're getting a ring then?
We'll find out.
if Scully gets another ring.
Hey, Dan
I'm coming
actually
for that
works
auction
them,
one
so
this
it
time,
kind of
by the
makes
way.
sense. Huh?
I'm coming for if they auction off an Atlantic Hockey Championship ring, y'all are screwed. I'm buying it.
Nate's gonna basically force himself into getting evicted from his apartment just to make that happen.
Take out a loan.
Literally, though, dude. I do the
If-
same thing. I'm not gonna lie.
If there's
No.
anybody considering ordering me a ring, I haven't missed a men's game since like early 2021.
Is that true? I thought you missed one because you had to wear basketball, sir.
Not a men's game. I've missed women's
sure?
games. Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a
All
women's
right,
game. He's right. He's right.
All right.
Multiple women's games, and I wasn't happy about it. I did it because I'm a good employee, but I wasn't happy about it.
All right, so now that we've completed our literal madness of championship happiness, I'm going to pass it over to Dan so we can go for scores around the country because there was no other teams playing in our conference. So we
Because
can
they
go
all
over,
suck.
so we can go over the other conference championship games that did in fact happen this weekend.
Friday night, the only league that had a team, a champion, ranked lower in the pairwise than RIT. Bemidji State lost to Michigan Tech 2-1.
Bemidji had a heck of a year too. It
Yeah, they
sucks
did.
that they have to miss the tournament.
And then the rest of the championship games were Saturday because the CCHA had to be different.
It was smart by them, actually. By the way,
Extra day
They
of
get an
rest.
extra day's rest, and they were the only show in town. Pretty much,
Yeah.
everybody was watching that game. Although I will say, the Denver St. Cloud game was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. That was a killer game.
Phenomenal game. Best game of the Omaha North Dakota game was great too. But that's just because I like watching Nodak lose. So
Spoiler alert.
I knew St. Lawrence won their semifinal. I didn't realize they shut out Quinnipiac.
yeah. Quinnipiac, can I tell you what? They are the biggest chokers in the conference tournament. They never win ECAC, ever. No matter how good they are, no matter how much talent they have, they choke it away every single year.
Did they lose it
without
last year
fail.
too?
Yeah,
Yes. Colgate
did
won
they actually?
ECAC. Yes.
And they won
Because if we had won Atlantic Hockey, we would have been the 15 seed. We would have been in Allentown playing Michigan, and I would have been able to do RIT and Penn State in the same day, in the same regional.
Oh, I remember you saying that. Oh my god, that's right.
And then when we had beaten Michigan, it would have been RIT Penn State in the regional final to go to the Frozen Four.
Anyways,
Would have been awesome. Anyway,
Some big matchups in the conference finals for the other conferences.
yes, there were.
Michigan versus Michigan State.
That was awesome.
I wish I could have watched this game. If we weren't playing, this would have been the game I would have watched.
Final in overtime, the Spartans take down the Wolverines 5-4. Josh Bowen probably was not happy about that one.
Jacob Barchevsky's a sieve.
Oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah. Great hockey game.
Cornell brought St. Lawrence back down to earth a little bit with a 3-1 win up at Herb Brooks Arena. I'm going to skip over that one for the moment. And Denver took down Omaha 4-1.
Yeah, that hurt.
And the
That one sucked.
biggest game of the year for the however many times they've played this year. Boston College 6, Boston University 2 in a matchup of the 1 and 2 teams in the country.
BC won, I believe. They only played twice in the regular season. They went 3-1 against BU. And the one game they lost was in the Bean Pot. But BCBU, they're the two best teams in the country for a reason. They're that good.
Right down the road from each other.
Yeah.
Literally. The same street.
And I know, and we'll get to it in a minute, but I know that it would, if Thursday, and this is a big if BU were to advance on Thursday, I'm cheering for a BCBU national championship game.
I'm pretty sure there would be blood on the ice.
That would be
good.
Amazing.
I think Jay would single-handedly explode.
Oh.
I mean, we know Jay's going to be an absolute psycho on Thursday anyway, but
yeah. Yeah. Auto bids to the tournament were set. Denver winning means UMass gets in over Colorado College by 1/1000th of a point,
which was
in the pairwise. Which, and I want to bring this up too because I was listening to Ed's USC, one of Ed's USCHO podcasts with Jim Connolly and Derek Schooley, and Schooley brought up a good point because he was on the Division I hockey committee for a while, and he said that the committee, if it's that close, should have some leeway into saying who should get in. Because there was a graphic that came up on ESPN, and it was record versus the top 15 in the pairwise. UMass was 1-9-1. Colorado College was 9-7-2. Colorado College misses out by 1/1000th of a point.
Like, that's where the pairwise,
and they don't get to go to the tournament.
That's where sometimes I look at the pairwise and I go, maybe we shouldn't be using this as the be all end all.
Right. Not as this is how it goes. We should be using it. I think other sports need a pairwise ranking because the fact that Alabama football gets into the college football playoff every freaking year is wrong. But another argument for another day. There's no mathematical formula. It's, hey, I can give you $7 billion to put Alabama in the playoff. Okay, they're in. Like,
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
And I know the basketball tournament kind of does that, but Virginia should not have been in March Madness. I'm sorry. They were awful. I don't watch basketball, and I knew they were awful.
All I've seen all year is people complaining about the net ranking system.
Yes. And I
the
get
pairwise,
that the pairwise is good. It's just that every once in a while, it's like we said, it should, as Schooley said, it should be, when it comes down to it being that close for the final team in, there should be some leeway where the committee can say, okay, you didn't have as great of a season as you think you did. You don't deserve, and I'm not saying UMass doesn't deserve it. They do. I'm not saying they had a bad season, but Colorado College having 9 wins against the top 15 in the pairwise and UMass only having 1.
They should have been in over that.
Who's the better team here? And I'm not saying that because UMass getting it means we had to go to Sioux Falls. That's not it at all. That's a whole nother argument I want to have not on the podcast. But it's stupid.
I mean, if you have to get down to thousandths of a point,
Yes.
I feel like you need to just abandon the system and the committee should just take over from there.
Yes. If
There should be
between the two, if it's that minuscule of a difference.
Yeah, if it's not a whole number differential, it needs to just be
Even if it's like a tenth of a difference, like that's still a decent amount when you actually look at the pairwise.
true.
But it is what it is, I guess. I mean, the pairwise is the pairwise. It's the rule. It's the law of the land in college hockey. I'm sure the coaches are going to talk about it at the coaches meeting down in Florida this
I
year
would say
on
so.
how they can change that. Because if I'm Colorado College, I am livid
Yeah.
that I'm not in the tournament.
Are they? No, they're not an independent, are they? No, they're in a conference.
No, they're in the NCAC,
I'm about to say they're in the NCAA.
but they
Yeah.
lost in their quarterfinals to Omaha. If they had won, they had gone to the semis. They were handily in.
Yeah,
But
they were. And UMass is nowhere to be found at that point.
yeah, UMass is dead. But I mean, it is what it is. That's the tournament. Tiger fans, welcome to the NCAA tournament.
Here we go.
For those of you that don't know, this is the most fun and most painfully excruciating experience of your life.
Every game is
As an
winner go
Atlantic
home.
hockey school, we probably get one of the best teams in the country every single year, and it drives me nuts because the rest of Atlantic hockey sucks. I'm gonna say that all summer because we won. That's it. Everybody else is terrible. We're the best team in Atlantic hockey. You can fight me on it any day of the week.
I mean, honest to God, I'm gonna put this out there. Holy Cross is getting up there too. They're starting to get up there a little bit.
Did we play them on Saturday?
No.
Then they suck. NCAA tournament time. The real March Madness is what I called it because really it coming down to Denver versus Omaha was
that was
unbelievable. If you don't know how the NCAA tournament works, it's like March Madness. There's 16 teams in the field. They get seeded 1 through 16. They get split into 4 regionals. This year, the regionals were in Providence, Rhode Island, Springfield, Massachusetts, Maryland Heights, Missouri, in a freaking community rink. That's a rant for another day.
Mm-hmm.
And Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So middle of nowhere.
Did you see that tickets for the Maryland Heights Regional are going for $1,000 on the secondhand market?
I saw some for $2,000.
What?
$2,000.
No.
And you know what? There are psycho North Dakota fans that would pay that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there are. That's
JJ. If you haven't seen, to put it into context, the rink they're playing this regional at holds less than GPC by a lot.
See, I saw that and I was like, it's like
so they're letting in 3,000. So there's going to be standing room, but you're not going to be able to move.
How are you going to?
Yeah.
How is there going to be 500 people standing room only in there?
Also, how are you just breaking the fire code and allowing it to happen? That's my question.
I'm sure they're not breaking the fire code.
Yeah, I'm sure they plan for standing room. But
so
let's start here. And we're going to kind of go through the selection process. The number 1 seeds in each regional were Boston College, Boston University, Denver, and Michigan State. Anybody surprised?
No.
BC gets to go to Providence, Rhode Island because they're the 1 seed, and they get to go like a half hour down the road. Good for them. They will take on Michigan Tech, the CCHA champion. Michigan Tech, it's been a great year. You're probably going to get slaughtered in this game. It might be close for a period, but
that was the nicest way for you to say, get effed, idiots.
The other game in this regional I am very excited for. It's Wisconsin and defending national champion Quinnipiac.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
That game's going to be bonkers. Sticking with that side of the bracket, those games are on Friday at 2 and 5:30 respectively. The number 1 seed gets the early games. What?
I hate the times.
They're so stupid.
You're gonna play a regional game at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, Dan, it gets worse. Wait till we get to our game, and I'm gonna go nuts.
I know.
The or actually wait till we get to the Denver game. The other Friday games are in St. Louis, Missouri, or Maryland Heights. Sorry. Maryland Heights is not St. Louis. It's a suburb of St. Louis. They decided to bring three of the biggest brands in college hockey to the smallest arena that you possibly could host a regional game in. Michigan State is playing Western Michigan. That's actually probably going to be a better game than people think. If other than us, if there's an upset that I'm seeing in this regional in this tournament, it's Western over Michigan State. And
Yeah.
D Mikes, I love you. Let's meet up in the national championship game.
I have a better idea.
The other game might be the game of the weekend. North Dakota and Michigan.
That's going to be insanity. I hope Michigan wins that game. I want Jacob Barchevsky in the Natty. Give it to me. You know, badly I want that. I want it more than I want the damn Atlantic title again. Give me that more than anything. If we could send this fool home and end his career in the national championship game with Cody Laskowski scoring 5 more goals against him, I would lose my mind.
Jacob's father. Anyway,
the ultimate "Who's Your Daddy" chant just erupting through St. Paul, Minnesota.
We would be so outnumbered in that game, fan-wise.
It doesn't even matter.
Let's move on to the regional we should have been in, but we're not, which sucks. Springfield, Massachusetts. Yes, NCAA. Let's complain about our attendance at regionals and why does nobody go to our games? But the NCAA also sends Denver, you know, the team that plays in Colorado, to middle of nowhere, Massachusetts on a Thursday at 2 p.m. There's saving grace, and apparently the regional semifinals sold out because the entire state of Maine is going to be there. UMass is the saving grace in this regional because they're the host. They get to play there. That's why we're not there, and I hate it. I would have loved to play Denver out east again. 14 years later, Denver fans would have been crapping themselves seeing RIT show up against Denver out east again.
That would have been pretty funny, though. I'm not going to lie.
That game's at 2:00. I will be watching at least the first period of that because then I got to go pick Zoe up and then we got to get to GPC. We'll get to that in a minute. And then the 5:30 game, which we won't be able to watch, the entire state of Maine will take on Cornell. There is going to be so much blue in that arena for that game. It's going to be stupid.
Oh, my God.
I don't think any business is going to be open in Maine Thursday at 5:30. No shot. No chance. If there is a team that means more to the entire state in college hockey than any other ones, it's Maine. You know why? Because there's nothing to do in Maine
except for leave or pass through it to get to Canada.
Or go to the LL Bean store.
Maine's a good spot.
LL Bean store. Dan's got a point with that one. That's a pretty cool store to go to. The big boot.
And then the other regional. At 8:30, the Minnesota Golden Gophers will take on the host Omaha Mavericks.
Assuming then the other game doesn't go to multiple overtimes.
Shut up! But if that's what it takes. And then the final game that we need to talk about is the Atlantic Hockey Champion RAT Tigers for the first time in program history will take on. Here we go. We're playing with the big boys. Macklin Celebrini, projected number 1 overall pick in the NHL draft, and the Boston University Terriers. Shall I save my takes? Should we talk about this a little bit?
Let's talk about it.
Let's save them a little bit. Boston University. Guys, they've been to 11 Frozen Fours.
They're pretty good.
They have the history.
But so do we.
They have been to the NCAA tournament a lot. They went to the Frozen Four last year. They have 5 national championships. Their last came in 2009. They've been in the national championship game 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. They got a lot of history. They got a lot of banners, right? It's BU. They're a name brand in college hockey. And they're pretty good. Pretty good. BU this year finished second in Hockey East, only behind the best team in the country, and probably, and I want to say it's close, but 3-1 against them, against BU. BC is far and away the best team in the country. BU 26-9-2 this year. Hockey's runner up. They finished second in the pairwise. They started the season 1-1, and Bentley took them to overtime. And I think we were all thinking, oh, this team's beatable. And then run.
Run.
Yeah. They are fast.
They have some
They're
speed.
very, very fast. Macklin Celebrini probably going to win the Hobie Baker Award. 31 goals, 59 points. Right behind him, Lane Hudson, a defenseman, 13 goals, 33 assists for 46 points. Their goaltender, Matthew Caron, 37 games played, 26 wins, 2 shutouts. He's got a .916 save percentage and a 2.33 goals against. BU 5th in the country. They average 4 goals a game. You know who's right behind him?
RIT.
RIT, 3.87 goals against per game. RIT finished the year in 5th with 2.3 goals against per game. BU is at 2.4, and they're in 9th. So, actually, good showing by Atlantic Hockey in the top 10 in goals against. Bentley and Holy Cross 6 and 7. Nice, good job, guys. Still lost. Power play percentage. Guys, we can't take penalties against BU. They're at 28.5%.
No,
RIT
that
at
would
a little over
sure.
23.5%. That's still really good. Power play's cooking right now. It would be higher if we didn't suck for the first half of the year on the power play. Thank you, Matty Wild. Here is the matchup that I am eyeballing this entire game. RIT's penalty kill, 4th in the country at 86%, over 86%. Boston University's in 35th at 79.6%.
It is not very good.
You have to convert on the power play. The story of the game will be RIT's power play versus BU's penalty kill. Oh, and we got a pretty good goalie in the pipes.
Yeah, if you can capitalize on their on some BU missteps and some penalty trouble for them, you've got a really good shot. Now, I think we got a good shot regardless. I think we actually match up pretty well against these guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Remember how I said Karan has a .916 save percentage? That's pretty good, right? That's really good. Tommy Scarfoni has a .928. Guys, I think we have the better goalie.
I think we definitely do.
And you know what's awesome about goaltending in the NCAA tournament? Is that they can steal one. If Tommy Scarfoni is just him, we got a chance to win this hockey game. And you know what's great? Is nobody in the country's giving us a chance. Everybody I listen to is, oh, RIT's going to give them a game, but BU's still going to win. And I've seen some things where BU should just throttle RIT because they can score a lot of goals.
That's great. So can we.
Attention, college hockey world. May I introduce to you the French, Italian, Canadian stallion. One. I came up with that on the fly. That was pretty good, wasn't it? That was pretty good. One, Thomas Louis Scarfoni.
Oh my God.
I look at the 4 goalies in this regional, guys, and we have the best goalie in the regional.
By far. It's not
I
even,
won't say by far. Matthew Caron's pretty damn good, but
yes. But
and
then
here's the one thing that I hate is I really want to BU to win Hockey East. Only
why?
because now they're coming in pissed off that they just lost to BC.
No, that's a good point.
Then they got handled by BC.
Here's what I look at though when it comes to this game. We have I think we have the stronger goaltender. We
Yep.
also have a lot of experience. We have a lot of veteran players. We have
The oldest team in the country.
oldest in the country. We have a lot
ESPN
of
said it a million times during the selection show. Hey, did
Yeah.
you know RIT is the oldest team in the country, guys?
Yeah. And
Because
here's
that was
other
the
thing.
only analytic they had on us.
Mhm.
And here's the other thing that I think is going to help us in the long run. Should what we want to happen is we go on a run here. We have a national champion on the roster. JoJo can be that voice of reason that can help calm everybody down when they think, oh my God, we're just getting out of hand. Nope. Take it, just slow down. Lock in. We'll be fine. Because he's done this before. Nobody else in this roster has done this before besides JoJo. This can happen. This is a very winnable game for us. I know I know the idiots in the other Discord that I left a while ago because they're all annoying. The r/college hockey Discord have guaranteed they've written us off. Oop, first round exit. That's great.
Everybody is.
Watch us. See what
ECH,
happens.
College Hockey Talk, our College Hockey, ESPN.
You know what?
Everybody.
If we lose this game, it's not going to be because they ripped us in half. It's not going to be because of that. It's going to be like a 1 or 2 difference. It's not going to be that bad.
Lane Hudson, Case McCarthy. It's their top D pair. Lane Hudson's got 45 points, 34 games. Pretty good. Tom Willander, 22 points. Their defensemen don't really score, guys. Know who does
On the
score?
other hand,
JoJo and Aiden. And Dimitri, apparently.
Dimitri, all I do is score big goals in the playoffs. Micro Giannakis.
If there is going to be, other than special teams and the goaltending, if there is something where we can exploit them, is our D guys can score.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and do what AIC did and cheat up on JoJo and Aiden to try and take their scoring opportunities away, which then leaves Carter Wilkie wide open. So yeah, go ahead and do that and see how that works out for you.
Well, and you know what they're gonna look at our top line, especially because Cody Laskowski's been practicing this week, by the way.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? You put Glasgow back in that lineup. Oh my God.
Pretty good. So here's BU is probably going to try to take away our top line because they're going to see Wilkie, Gonzo, and Lasco right at the top of our scoring, right? They're going to look at it and be like, all right, these guys are pretty good, right? And then we're just going to punch them with Catalano, Fukakusa.
But I said the kid line's going to just be eating all day long.
Not literally Christian.
Not literally Christian.
Can I say, I told Simon Isabel's dad at the tailgate that the running gag all year has been when Christian Catalano isn't in the box, he's a damn good hockey player. And his dad laughed and said, that is the most truthful thing I've heard this entire season. He loved it.
What sucks is I think bringing Glasgow back in takes Adam Jeffrey out of the lineup, and I think he's been phenomenal recently.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because you're probably going to put Grady Hobbs back on that line with Isabel and Andrew, and I love that line. That's the gritty line.
Good.
That line's going to absolutely eat BU's third line alive, even if they don't score.
Quite honestly, there's one guy I think I would look to in this game to maybe be a little bit of a sneaky threat, and that's Tyler Mahan.
He's been playing well. He's had chances.
And that's one that I think they're going to be so focused on dealing with your Wilkies and maybe I think they will try to deal with the kid line because they've been a force.
And BU has two very good forward lines. I'll put that out there. They're very good. They have a very good everything, and their uniforms look good. I think we're in for an amazing uniform matchup if BU wears their throwback white ones, by the way, because then I heard a little rumor that we're wearing these guys.
Okay.
Look good, feel good, play good.
I kind of was hoping we'd wear the orange. The orange is the best.
No. I agree. I like the
I
orange,
love
but
the orange.
something about this team in black, man. This year, just I don't know. Just seems like they like the black. Everybody we talked to says
They
it.
do love the black jerseys. I'll give you that. They do love the black jerseys. Do we get to pick what we wear, or do we get told what we have to wear?
We just can't wear white.
Oh yeah, because we're not.
They probably didn't even bring. They probably only brought the blacks.
And maybe the oranges.
And BU only brought their white, although they have 2 whites. But anyway, we are not saying that RAT is going to run away with this game. This is going to be a grind for 60 minutes or more.
Yeah, this is going to be a good old fashioned beatdown, like for both sides. Like it's going to be both sides
hard.
They're both going to physically get beat down. This is going to be a war.
And I do think that this game could be first to 4.
Dude, it was last week for us, 100%. And here's what I think. I think our showing in our own conference playoff tournament is on look at we absolutely dominated every opponent we had in that tournament. That to me means we are very much equipped to handle BU.
AIC ain't BU, dude.
I know. No. What I'm saying is the fact that we straight up dominated 3 opponents and didn't lose a single game on our own conference playoffs makes me feel much better about going against BU. If we had dropped 1 or 2 games, like if we had dropped a game against Niagara, I would be feeling much different right now. But the fact that we steamrolled RMU, steamrolled Niagara, beat AIC, I'm not going to say handily, but we really did manhandle them for the 3rd period and the 2nd. I think we did.
They dominated us in the 3rd period. But
I didn't see it that way.
But we weathered the storm.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tommy
Scarfoni
is going to have 50 plus saves in this game.
Probably.
Win or lose. Karan might see 20, 25 shots.
You think we're going to get outshot that badly?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe not that bad.
I think we'll have 30, 35. I would say between 30 and 40 for us.
I think if we can get into our game before they do, scoring first is crucial here. I will also add that. And if you can get Matthew Karan rattled early by getting one and just getting in his grill a little bit, freaking send Philip Jock right to the top of the crease. Doesn't have to go in it. Doesn't have to touch him. Just let him know you're there.
I think this is a game where we unleash the man that is Dougie Scott.
You know what's funny is I had this thought because I was looking at the BU goaltenders. Their other goalies have played a combined 16 minutes this season.
Do you just have Dougie Scott run the guy?
I'm not saying no. Dan, it's the tournament. Anything goes. Hey, the floating backpack is back.
The floating back. Dougie, if you're listening to this, which I hope you are, if you wanted to go out there and just body some fool, this is the game to probably do it.
The problem is that would give BU a power play, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, we got one damn good penalty kill though.
I mean, Doug Scott did have back-to-back 5 in a game against a school from the Boston area.
Can we also say that one of the only games we saw Doug Scott in this year, he came in and immediately committed a penalty and was thrown out? He's done it before. I love that guy.
We don't need him to do it again.
Dude, the fact there's a picture of him getting off the plane at Sioux Falls with him wearing like one of those little like night sleeper masks. I'm just like, dude, this guy is just another breed of human that we've never seen before. And I love him for that.
RAT is 19-0-1 when leading after the first period.
And now that you've said that, we're probably not
No,
clear to the first
no,
grade, you clown.
that's a legit thing that needs to be talked about because this team knows how to protect the lead.
That's true, they do. But
Same.
I also am not overly concerned if we're down by like 1 or if we're tied after 1.
No, I'm not either. I'm not
If
too
we're down
concerned
by
at that
like
point.
2, I might be a little worried. If it's just 1 or if it's a 1-1 game, I'll be like, okay, we are in good shape right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I'm
guys, the more and more I look into this game, the more and more I think we can win.
I think, dude, anything can happen in college hockey. I've said it to you all week. Like, you don't know. We don't know. We could roll in there and they could be sleeping on us. We could score 5 in the first period. You don't know that.
Oh, that ain't happening. If that happens, I will give you $100.
All right, wait. What the record reflects?
It's recorded. It's
Let the
recorded. If
let the
RIT
record
scores
reflect. If
5
that
goals,
happens, Nate owes me
RIT
$100.
scores 5 goals in the first period, I will give JJ $100.
It's never gonna happen, but I will so
The
happily take
NCAA
it if
is
it does.
opposed to all forms of sports wagering.
Yeah, tell that to my parlay last weekend.
Oh my god.
Also,
Zoe just texted me, no, you won't.
That's what you think, Zoe.
Also, the flip side of the stat that you gave, Nate, we're 0-5-0 when trailing after the first.
When was the last time we were trailing after the first period?
That's a good question.
He's got a very good
Exactly. Was it Maine?
Niagara.
The last time RIT
yeah, probably not.
Was Niagara.
No,
And we
no, we were
and we won
0-0
that.
after the first. We were 0-0 after the first.
No, they scored in the first.
We're 0-5-0 when trailing after 1 period.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Never mind. I'm thinking. Yeah, no, you're right.
They scored their 2 goals in the second.
Also, speaking of Niagara, I'm going to throw this out there. Jason Lammers, I hope you get fired. I just wanted to add that. I don't like him, so just get fired. Also, Eric
7
Lang,
years and they
that was
haven't done anything.
unnecessarily malicious.
Good.
I know it's Niagara, but
Yeah, that was just the most random attack, and I love it.
Also, Eric Lang, if you want to just leave and go somewhere else, and so we can watch your team be an absolute bottom feeder again, I would not be opposed to that either. So, one less team for us to have to deal with later.
It was the Mercyhurst game, the second Mercyhurst game.
That was like what, 2 months ago?
That we lost 3-2. Here's the thing: if we don't beat ourselves, we have a chance.
Oh
in
yeah.
this game.
and how we've
And
said
can I be
that
honest?
a lot.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna say this: I don't want to deep dive too much into them, but because we have to worry about the go. This is David versus Goliath right now.
Mm-hmm.
If we beat BU, I think we can totally beat Minnesota or Omaha.
Yeah.
If BU is Goliath, what's BC?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Zeus.
Good Lord.
BC is just the sun. It's just gonna rain hellfire down everybody.
And I said this too, and I don't want this to sound like I don't have any hope because I literally just laid out how we can win this game, and I do believe that we can. RAT plays for Atlantic Hockey Championships.
Yeah. This is just
anything after that is just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
If we can win a game or two in the tournament, great. If we don't,
it happens.
It is what it is, and it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck for a few weeks, but at the end of the day, this team gets a ring, and we go back to where we want to be every year.
Got that. They're one of 6 teams that got that. And quite honestly, talking to and you guys heard all the interviews, all this team cared about was winning a championship.
Well, and they said it too, like, okay, so RAT, Michigan or Michigan Tech, in these smaller conferences in Cornell, we play for conference championships, and now it's just like, all right, let's just go play hockey.
Yeah.
Like, we did what we wanted to do this year. Let's go play. Let's go play hockey.
Extra. Now, that's not to say these guys aren't going to go out there and give their all to try and win, because let's face it, if they make another Frozen Four, these boys are going to be hungry. So I would not be surprised if they.
If we go to the Frozen Four, we're doing a live podcast from Minnesota, by the way.
Yes, I already
Absolutely.
told my boss.
How do you plan on me
room.
getting there?
I'm kidnapping you. You're going to sit in my trunk and you're going to ride down to Minnesota that way.
You're driving.
I don't care what. Dude,
You're crazy.
will screw my lease over to make that happen. I do not care. I already told work. I told my boss. She was like, so what happens if RIT wins both games this week? And I said, JJ's not at work. I'm in Minnesota. See you later.
For like a week.
That was my exact words. Was I'm in Minnesota.
I am scheduled to work one day the week of the Frozen Four.
I'm scheduled to work 5, but I'll probably end up working 2. So we'll see how that one goes.
Get there when we get there, right?
That'll be oh no, I have COVID. I can't be in for 5 days. See you later.
This is going to be.
That's a really bad thing.
This is going to be a battle.
This is the biggest game all season.
Really?
I'm just gonna
that
say.
Might be the understatement of the year.
Number 2, Boston University. We've literally never played them before. Like this makes AIC look like a kindergarten birthday party. Like, what are you talking about?
Because it is.
I know. I'm just saying that so that people understand how huge this is. We know how big it is. Others
this
may
is
not.
BU. They're a blue blood college hockey program, and if you want the definition of a hockey school, it is Boston University.
Jay's gonna want to punch you for saying that, but that's okay.
That's all they have at BU. It's hockey. They don't have D1 football.
That's true. They don't.
They have they're not even like a little 5 college basketball school. They're just like kind of there, and it's hockey. And if RIT beats BU, it's going to be up there with the Denver win.
Notice.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? We're back.
Hey, everybody. Here we are.
We have a 500 record in the tournament. We can't drop below 500. Come on, boys. Let's go.
Also, I'm gonna just throw this out there. Ryan Nicholson did tell us he did tell a few people that he has 1 goal left in the chamber and he's saving it for St. Paul. So,
but if we need it on Thursday, he can absolutely use it.
And that is what I told him on Saturday was, Ryan, I know you're saving it, but please, dear Lord, if we need 1, use it then.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got more than 1 left. You just don't realize it yet. A little bit of extra charge left in the tank there, bud.
Watch party, 5:00. This is probably going to come out on Thursday. So 5:00 tonight,
what
4:00.
The hell was open. That?
What? I want to know.
What?
He muted his mic.
Did something get
this is amazing. What just happened?
I live next door to a house that at least part of which houses RIT Formula SAE people.
Oh God.
And they're like whacking around their trailer out there or something.
I just see Scully go, what is that? It's funny because he's looking at me on my screen. I'm like, what did I do? Anyway, where was I? Oh, this is probably going to come out on Thursday, day of game. So watch party tonight, 5:00. Doors open at 4. Be there. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be cheering. We're going to be chanting. I know we're just going to be screaming at nothing, but we're going to be screaming. And it's going to be a heck of a time. I know Sioux Falls is very hard to get to on such short notice, i.e. all 3 of us are still in Rochester.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah, that sucked. And you know what sucks is I looked and I mapped it out, and there was probably about an hour and a half on Sunday where I was going.
It's so expensive to get out there.
Yeah, it's like a 17-hour drive.
Ugh.
If you don't fly, it's a $400 flight.
Yikes.
Now, if I see a flight for $100 Thursday morning, you bet your ass on it.
Oh yeah, he's out of here. You will
I'm
not see
on
him at
it.
the watch party.
I'm on it. I don't care if I'm going by myself. I'll figure out where I'm staying on the plane.
I
But
can't wait for you to openly say that you got a text from Joey that says no, you will not.
she's going with me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I guess I should have told Bailey Kale yesterday that there might be one person going, and his name's Nate Foss.
Well, no, we do know that
There's some people going. There's a couple people
the
going.
documentary team is going.
True.
Just sucks because now I'd have to find tickets elsewhere because I can't get the RIT allotment. Yeah, flight went up. Never mind.
Yeah, no, forget that one.
It was at 3:50 this morning. It's at 4:30 now. So
yeah, that's not gonna drop.
yeah, it sucks. This is it. This is what you play for. This is what we wanted, right? It's what we wanted at the beginning of the year.
We wanted our opportunity.
Scarfoni is
the world.
one save short of Drackett for first place in the D1 era record book.
And he's closing in on 1,000 on the season, right? Like he's pretty close.
Yeah, he'll end up with 1,000 by the end of Thursday's game. He's got 988 so far.
Yeah, he'll definitely have that.
You mean to tell me BU was going to get more than 11 shots on our D-core, Dan? You doubter. You doubter.
They can prove me wrong. I'm not going to be upset.
Look, nobody's giving you a chance in this game. The only people that believe in you are
us.
Tiger Nation. The only people that believe in you are Tiger Nation. And
you know what?
Because we know what you can do.
And I've got the clip from ESPN from the selection show. I don't know who this twat was that said this, but
what?
he what?
That RIT is the oldest team in the country?
No, not that.
They said that about 20 times.
He said this Tiger team will be a nice plucky team for BU to face. My response to that is, dude, don't call us plucky. We don't know what it means. Yes, I stole that from Avengers. I don't care. Good. That clip should be on a loop in that locker room. We're plucky. Perfect. Then we'll take our plucky team and we'll roll our way to the Frozen Four. How does that sound? ESPN. Which, by the way,
the world.
We are not RPI, you clowns. You put RPI's logo on there instead of ours.
Did anybody find the betting odds?
You think I looked for them?
James pulled them up.
I just want to know.
James,
I can't bet on the game in New York, which sucks.
I believe that BC is a
BU.
Yeah, BU. Sorry, what did I see? It was like a plus 190 minus 200, something like that.
Plus 190. If I could, I would throw a wheelbarrow of money at it. Plus 190.
I thought that's what I saw.
Playoff status gave us a 25% chance, and I think it's.
I like me those odds.
Good.
Sleep on us.
Okay. Did you like my comment on all the posts, by the way, from the Corner Crew account?
Oh, that was incredible. By the way,
I just posted the in the sleeping emoji.
I am 100% going to mail an RAT blanket to BU's university president's office, or to their athletic director if we beat them. That's going to happen. No, you know what? No, I'll send it to ECH.
Send it to the dog pound.
They
send it to the dog pound. They would. They were cool.
They were fun guys.
But guess what?
Those guys were fun.
But guess what?
We're better.
It sucks to be you.
Dan's hat.
All right. We should probably wrap this up. We can go on for another hour.
We could go on forever. With everything being put into one nice tiger stripe colored present thing. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Wow.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us for the entire season, regular season, I should say, and the conference playoffs. It was a wild ride. We will see everybody on Thursday at the watch party. Do not forget, if you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you are notified when all new episodes go live. In the description will be links to all the social medias. What?
Keep going.
Okay. Instagram is still in there. That's the big one. Please join the Discord. We are at almost 1,000 people, which is kind of mind-boggling. Yes, everyone keeps telling me we just crossed 600. Haha, yes, that joke is still funny. I'm waiting for you to say what you're going to say because I'm kind of worried because I'm not done yet.
No, keep going. I'm just waiting to see if you say something.
I'm going to say it. Don't worry. I don't
Okay.
need another Discord mob coming after me.
It was not a mob. You
yes,
took it
it
way
was.
too seriously.
Thank you to Zoe for editing as always.
Hey!
Clap and share.
Especially when she has to deal with files that are
9
insane.
gigabytes.
They're way too big.
It literally, when we were leaving for the game, it was at like 7 days. And I'm like, oh, we don't have that much time.
There's no chance.
Just post it unedited.
The first half of this was 5 gigs.
Oh, jeez.
Sweet mercy. All right.
Oh, Lord.
Let's not make this second one even bigger. We will see everybody Thursday at the watch party. Have a great week. Go Tigers.
Hope the shoe still fits. Let's go dancing, baby. Roll Tech.
What?
I have flaming, spicy hot takes.
I love when you get out conspiracy.
Because Macklin Celebrini's a